time, and Doc brought him in and set him up for failure. He's been like this, and you guys know he's been like this. And Doc kept putting him in the game, kept letting that team do fouls on him. I love it, Scotty. Take him out of the game. The Lakers did it with Shaq, and he's bigger and more dominant and probably more fearless than Ben Simmons. Doc made him be a failure. Got to bring in Fox NBA analyst Chris Broussard, but Acho, you blame Doc Rivers for Ben Simmons' struggles?
Unfortunately, I do blame Doc Rivers for a large portion of Ben Simmons' struggles. I'll start like this. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it too will live its whole life believing it's an idiot.
What?
Albert Einstein. Laugh at me if you will, but it was one of the. Laugh at me if you will,
All right, now make that fit into this show.
How am I gonna make that fit into this? Again, let me say it because we've been derailed. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it too will live its whole life believing it's stupid. Ben Simmons is an all-star. Ben Simmons is a 3-time NBA All-Star. Ben Simmons is 5th in the NBA in triple-doubles since he started playing in the NBA, behind Nikola Jokic, NBA MVP, behind Russell Westbrook, NBA MVP, behind LeBron James, NBA MVP, behind Luka Doncic, superstar and the best player under 25. Everybody is a genius. Ben Simmons has proven himself to be a basketball genius, if you will. Again, Ben Simmons, he's 3-time All-Star in 4 seasons. Now, if I, Marcellus, to use my example, were to take a fish out of water and place it at the base of a tree, and individuals were to walk by and look at that tree and look at that fish and be like, look at that sorry animal trying to climb up that tree. It has no talent at all. Well, surely you could be mad at the fish, and you could be mad at the fish, in theory, for not being an animal that both has the ability to swim and climb. However, you should probably be mad at the individual for taking the fish out of water and planting it at the base of the tree. Doc Rivers, you're the individual that's taking Ben Simmons, who you know has an inability to shoot, who you know has an inability to be clutch in crunch time, who you know has several inabilities and inefficiencies, and you're putting him in a position for those inabilities and inefficiencies to be exposed. Ben Simmons is an all-star. Ben Simmons is on a list with players that have won MVPs and Luka Doncic, a superstar and a future MVP winner. He, too, has basketball genius in him. We are just judging him by his inabilities and thus looking at him foolishly. But who is the person that is maximally exposing his inabilities? The head coach, Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers does have to take a large portion of blame.
Acho, I hate to say this, bruh. You sound like Doc Rivers. You sound like Doc Rivers back in December when he said, I couldn't care less what Ben doesn't do. I'm going to focus on what he can do and let the media talk about what he can't do. You sound like Doc Rivers in the first round against Washington when he chastised the media and said, shame on you if you can't see how fantastic Ben Simmons is at the other parts of the game. That's a little paraphrase, but that's what he said. And then he shamed the media in the Eastern Conference semifinals when they dared to say, why don't you take him out of the game? And Doc went off on the media again, but then by the end of the series, he was singing a different tune. No, I don't blame Doc Rivers for Ben Simmons' struggles. It's not his fault. Ben Simmons went from shooting 61, near respectable 61% at the foul line to 34% in the playoffs. Here's what I blame Doc Rivers for. What was he doing during the regular season? Doc Rivers was brought in to be the superstar whisperer. Okay? He had coached the Big Three in Boston to a championship. He had worked with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, and that is Doc's reputation. I can get any assistant or scout to give me some X's and O's. Doc Rivers was brought in to have a relationship with these stars and get them to maximize their game. And he didn't do it. And you hope that he was just publicly supporting Ben and privately being like, Ben, you got to work on your jump shot. But it looks like he wasn't. So Doc Rivers during the regular season, that was the time he should have been hounding Ben Simmons to work on his J. And here's when he should have benched him during the regular season. Ben, every time I see you turn down an open jump shot, I'm benching you. We get into the playoffs. I don't care about the seeding. I got to get you ready for the playoffs. That's when the time was to bench him. It was too late in the Eastern Conference semifinals. He had to ride with what he had. But he should have taught Ben that lesson. Because, look, Brett Brown couldn't do it. But Doc has the clout to bench Ben Simmons during the regular season so he learns the lesson. So I blame him for that. I don't blame him for what happened in the Eastern Conference semifinals as far as Ben.
Man, should have benched him in the regular season. That would have been gangster. I mean, look, we know that Doc has the equity, the clout to do that. And they say you can't spell bench without spelling Ben. Let me not go there.
Who says that?
And I don't mean not play him, Marcellus.
Can't spell bench without Ben.
I don't mean, bench him for a long time, but I mean pull him out of the game.
Hey, look.
And make him think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it could be 1 second. You ever been in the game, active Acho, and then coach said, come here. Ooh, that come here take forever. So it could have been 1 second. You get the message. I'm not blaming Doc Rivers for this situation. I'm not blaming him for his struggles. Look, we live in a world right now where it's so PC. You got to play the game within the game before you even really get to the core of any matter, that we can't just call things like they are.
Call this,
And boy, you know me. I'm going to call it like it is. What's wrong with us just saying, damn, Ben Simmons, you underperformed. Damn, Ben Simmons, you're inadequate. Just like that's it. Because when it comes to the dynamic of player and coach, it's interdependent, but it falls on the player ultimately, not the coach. Before Doc Rivers was in Philly, Ben Simmons was declining in field goal attempts per game every single year, and this was his lowest. You know why? Because he was losing confidence in his jump shot. Regardless of how much he's been working on it, the achievement level made him all of a sudden not have confidence in that same J, not have confidence in his free throws. So what does that lead to? A case of the yips. And anybody know about the yips? It gets mental, and it gets mental fast. So let's not blame Doc Rivers for having a guy who's already made man, as you said, Acho. This is LSU Ben Simmons all over again, maybe with an ounce of improvement. But like in the morning, my kids, Araya, MJ, and Olivia, and Araya gonna eat all of the food. You got to get there before her. She's a 2-year-old. There's 2 types of pancakes. My wife likes to make one type. I like to make the other type. I like to make the Instamix. It's simple. You just get the powder, pour it out, add water, pancakes. My kids notice the difference. Now, there's another version my wife makes. It takes oil, butter, eggs, milk, and they're fluffier, and they love it. Ben, all this is you got to cook it up a little longer, a little stronger, a little different, and some more ingredients, and things will turn out better. You don't dedicate yourself to that, it ain't a Doc Rivers issue, it's not an organization issue, it's a man in the mirror issue.
Here's a problem, though, Sel, and here's a problem, CB, with both of you all's takes is who's the authoritarian in the take? You said that your wife makes the pancakes. Your wife runs the household. That's the authoritarian.
No, I ain't going that far. We share this house.
Right, runs the household in regards to making the pancakes.
Okay. Just breakfast.
She's the authoritarian in that situation, right? Or you are the authoritarian. Either way, it's not your kids making the pancakes.
Yeah.
So when the pancakes are being made, who you're looking at is who's the obligation to. But let me get back on track. Let
them eat.
CB, it comes down to Doc Rivers has the decision to make as to Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons' confidence. You said you blame Doc Rivers over the course of his season. You said you blame Doc Rivers, but you don't blame Doc Rivers for the free throw rows and the free throw percentage dropping drastically. But you know free throws, CB, it's 2 primary components. Can you actually shoot a free throw? And then it's a game within the mind. So at the point in which Doc Rivers has left Ben Simmons out there to lose all of his confidence, what you expect to happen. But furthermore, you, CB, and Sel, y'all both parents, so y'all have actually been in the situations. There are times when you put your children in positions to succeed. There are times when you allow an individual who you have authority over, you allow them and you dictate what they do and do not do. Sel, I'm going to personalize this now for you, and then I am done.
Yeah.
It was the 400 meters, sir, that you were a national record holder. It was not the 800.